Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast for Monday, June 26, 2023. We're going to talk about evil this week because what better thing to talk about in the middle of a beautiful summer than that? No. Really, we're going to talk about it because for whatever reason, this topic has its hooks in me, so we're going to hang out together in this. And I really look forward to your insight, your input, your thoughts, your whatabouts in the comments on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you watch this. Be sure to interact with me because it's way more fun that way. So here's what Paul says in Romans chapter 12, verse 9, and then verse 21. And I choose this section because he talks about avoiding evil, hating evil, and clinging to what is good. So here's what he says. Verse 9, love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Then jumping ahead to the end of that section in Romans 12, verse 21, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And that's the word of the Lord. So what are we talking about when we say evil? Very simple. Evil is simply the absence of the ways of God. Evil on its own does not exist. Now, we have to get kind of theological and metaphysical for a second, but just stick with me because this is important to lay the groundwork for what Paul is talking about and what we will talk about this week. Evil is just the absence of good. You and I as human beings have been created with the capacity to love God. We can choose to love God. Adam and Eve had the choice to love God and to live the life that God called them to in the Garden of Eden. As you know, in Genesis 3, they chose to not do the things of God. They actually disobeyed God directly and in his face, more or less. They hid afterwards because they realized, oh my goodness, we kind of blew this thing up. But when we have this capacity to love God, we have to, by definition, also have the capacity to reject God. And so this is a part. Other animals and created beings don't have this power. You and I have the power to actually push God out of something and therefore create this little pocket, this little corner of evil. And we do it in our own hearts. We do it in the world around us. And we see the effects of evil. People like Hitler, Stalin, the bad guys in the world who weren't possessed by demons or didn't like take on this evil power. It's just that they didn't do the things of God. There are only two paths. And God says it in Deuteronomy. He says, I set before you two paths, the path of life, the path of death. Choose life that you might live. That's what he says. But it is truly a choice. Evil is only the absence of good. Evil cannot exist outside of the concept or the context of goodness. All right? So far, so good? Think of it this way. A delicious donut. What is a donut? Oh, it's this round ring of dough that's been perfected and made delicious, which means it's bad for us. But in the middle of a donut, at least some of them, there is a hole. Now, when I eat a donut, where does that hole go? It's gone. It only existed in the context of the donut. Let's say I cut my leg when I'm working outside, and all of a sudden, I've got this gash down my leg. And so I go in the house, I put Band-Aids on it, and Neosporin, and whatever, and then after a few days, it goes away. Where did the cut go? Did somebody else get it? Did I throw the cut away when I threw the Band-Aid away? No. The corruption of something or the lack of something only exists because of the something that's there, right? Make sense? You go into a dark room, you turn on the light, the darkness in that room is gone. Where'd the darkness go? Did it go down the hall to the bathroom? No, it's just gone because the darkness was simply the absence of light. And so it is with good versus evil. Evil is not equally powerful to good. Evil is only the absence of good. Demons are not equally powerful to God. Demons are only those who have pushed away the good and have chosen their own way instead of choosing life. Right? So, when Paul says, hate what is evil, cling to what is good, he's not just saying, make sure to condemn the bad stuff in the world. He's saying, make sure that in your heart, you're not pushing God out of certain things, because the moment you do that, you are clinging to what is evil. You're choosing your own way. Now, we've got this foundation laid, and at the end of this section in 21, he says, don't be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Now, when we're overcoming evil with good, that means that we are just embracing the goodness of God, the beauty, the truth, the goodness, the grace, the joy, the hope, the justice, the righteousness, the peace of God. These are the things that we embrace. And in so doing, we push away the evil just as a light switch and a light pushes away the darkness, that is the absence of light. More tomorrow, but until then, just think about it. See ya. That's RadCast.